Are you on the hunt for a laser machine to go in your workshop? Or maybe you're fancy upgrading from the 10 watt or 5 watt laser and wondering if a 22 watt laser might be for you? Well, today we're looking at the Creality Falcon 2 22 watt laser machine, so stick around and we'll see what this thing can do. First thing I love is the fact that it comes pre-assembled. So no more putting it all together and realising that first piece was on backwards. So there we go, installation an absolute doddle. Realistically, it's just put the feet on it and then plug parts in, which is all really simple. It also comes with this mesh flooring, which is really good because it's very protective. It's got a big metal protective sheet, the honeycomb fairing on there. So I just very quickly plugged it in just to make sure it works. It's attached to the computer, so it very quickly cut that off. Which matches my little finish station that I've got on there. But now I want to try out those standard stuff that I've been doing with a 10 watt laser using the same settings and see what the difference is with this 22 watt laser. Is it going to overburn things, or is it just going to work the same? Is it going to be faster? It's one thing to just kind of swap over and plug and play. Does it do the same job? We'll look at the extras that this should be able to do afterwards. Now, one of the super common things that I do with my laser machine is do engraved coasters, either personalized ones or just a standard fit that I can sell on eBay. So let's just use exactly the same settings that I used to just create these straight off and see if they come out any different. Yeah, the higher power has overburnt on the same settings, which I suppose makes a lot of sense. So let's see if we can put the power down to 50%. Does that give us the equivalent of a 10 watt laser? Let's try it. Better, but I think we could go down more. There we go, so knocking it down to 30% gets us a slightly more similar look to it all. So I think if you are upgrading from a 10 watt to this 22, you are going to have to look at your settings and try a few things out and make sure you're getting things back to how you want things to look. The second thing I want to try out, I'm hoping we'll take this extra power that we've got and really use it to the fore. I make a lot of these book nooks. Super cute little things. They slot in between your books on bookshelves and make things look absolutely gorgeous. But with the 10 watt laser, even with the 3mm stuff, generally it needs 2 passes for it to cut through, and occasionally it'll just miss a part, especially because it's plywood and plywood alternates a little bit. So it might just need a little cut on the back with a knife. Does this 22 watt laser just blast straight through it in one pass? That's what I'm really interested in, because that would vastly speed up what I'm doing with these things and make me more productive. So I've set it to 250mm a minute, max power, 1 pass. Let's see if this cuts straight away. That's suggesting yes, it is. Yes, there we are, 1 pass, and that's cut that out very, very cleanly. To be honest, we could probably knock the speed up a little bit and that might still cut out. It's worth a trial, see what happens, but that is realistically halved the amount of time it's going to take for me to cut these out. Top job. Okay, so it can do what the 10 watt laser was doing better and a lot faster and a little bit more efficient with the cutting. Let's start pushing the boat out and seeing what this 22 watt laser can do. So I've lined up just a piece of pine, 12mm thick. Let's see if we can just cut that straight through in 1 pass. Has that cut all the way through? Like a knife through butter. That's a joke, isn't it, really? Okay, next. So this time we'll stick with 12mm but go up to maple instead of pine, significantly harder. Oh, yeah, maple, 12mm maple. Even a 12mm plywood, and ply quite often clogs things up a little bit, no problem, one pass straight through. Now I think Creality do lay claim to be able to cut a 15mm piece of wood in one cut. And one thing that I also noted with cutting these out, not only has it done it in one pass fairly quickly, it's not left any scorch marks on there. It's a really, really clean cut. And I think that's down to the air assistance. So the air assistance pump is integrated into the machine, plugs in directly from here. And there's also an adjustment wheel on the side that you can toggle this up or down. Generally you want less air assistance when you're engraving things and more air assistance when you're cutting things. And while we're talking about assisted things, this has a stack of safety features on it as well. Triple rating stuff, so it's got fire detection. If it detects any kind of flame coming out of the work that you're doing, it will instantly cut off the system, sound an alarm and go from there. It's got tilt and knock sensors, so if it's knocked or tilted off the table, it's going to cut off immediately and not burn your workshop down. It's got instant kill buttons, so you smack that button and everything shuts down and stops, and you've actually then got to turn that to lift that back up again. And also the little key safety thing, so if you're in a shared space, you can take that key out, walk off, and no one's going to be messing about with this laser and doing things that they shouldn't be. So obviously this machine does do a lot of engraving and very detailed stuff, including wood, slate as we've seen, glass and stainless steel it can do, but you do need to have some kind of coating on the top. So these diode lasers, the way that these work, it's all color spectrum things that I don't understand, but it goes straight through see-through stuff like glass, clear perspex, and stainless steel, because it's really shiny, the laser literally bounces off. So you can put a coating of some sort over the top of that to allow etching to work. Now I haven't tried this and I really want to. If you know what coating works really well, can you leave it in the comments so I can give it a go? Because I really fancy giving this a whirl and trying some different materials, especially with this Creality Falcon 2. Now one of the big reasons I love a laser machine is for doing inlays of some sort, super intricate, delicate things that by hand would be very, very time consuming and usually quite frustrating as you snap little pieces. So what I want to do with this next section is to actually cut out the engraved area and just see how deep we can cut with this 22-watt laser. And there we are. So that's about 7mm thick, which is significantly deeper than the 10mm could do, and I've sped it up to do that process. I tried this 3 times. So that first one, I set the laser all 100% power, but I set the first one at something like 200mm a minute, and it was going to take about 4 hours to complete, which I just don't have the time for that. So I upped the speed to about 1000mm a minute, and it started cutting in there. Now you can't quite pick that up on the camera, but that's already about 5mm deep. And the way to get this effect is it does a cross hatching, so it cuts it in one direction and then goes back over it again. So again, that would be incredibly deep, and that would have taken about 45 minutes for that second one to do. This one, I upped the speed to over 2500mm a minute, and that's still cut in about 7mm deep. Pretty impressive, really. Now with that kind of depth, you can then either fill that space with resins and different colours and things like that, or you can use exactly the same template on the laser to just cut out a different piece of wood and slot it in, knowing it's going to be exactly the same size, which I'm going to do on a guitar in the very near future. So the Falcon 2 22-watt laser, what do we think? Well, yeah, it is literally double the power of a 10-watt, surprisingly. So whatever it is that you've been doing with a 10-watt laser, it will do this significantly quicker, because generally it's only going to need 1 pass instead of 2, or you can do it a lot faster and it'll still cut the same depths, or you can just get it to do more. There's going to be more laser work coming up on this channel soon, so click subscribe, click like, share this if you know someone else that's going to think about upgrading lasers, and I'll see you soon. Watch this video. God bless.